All right, the series continues. We're on to the fourth video right here. We're going to address the ITB.
That's right, iliotibial band. So this will kind of feed into the second video we did on the TFL. So what happens when our TFL gets tight, our glute gets tight, glute med gets tight, it all feeds into that lateral track, right? So runners will get symptoms at the knee, so snapping. Every time that knee approaches 30 degrees of flexion, snap, 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 snap. So what's happening is that tight ITB is snapping over that femoral condyle at the lateral side of the knee.
Because it runs and then comes into the front of the patella,
Yeah,
right?
it attaches, so it does have a sort of a lateral force vector on the patella, but iliotibial, right? So ilium, your pelvis, tibial, your tibia, right? So that front bone of your shin. So what happens is it's really poorly addressed oftentimes because people don't understand that it's not a muscle, right? It's connective tissue. It would be tantamount to saying your calves are tight, let's just bash and mash your Achilles tendon, right? So what happens is when that TFL gets tight, those glutes get tight, pulls on that lateral track, well, what's right underneath? Vastus lateralis, your main extender of the knee, or one of your largest quad muscles.
Okay.
So what happens is you start getting these myofascial adhesions between the iliotibial tract and the vastus lateralis.
And do you think, is that like just because overactive, because it's constantly firing?
Yeah, so the iliotibial band acts to the knee in 5 of 6 ranges of motion of the hip. Everything but adduction, bringing your foot across your body, uses this track in some way. Because think of the individual actions of the muscles that act on the track, right? TFL or glute med and glute max, they make up for everything but adduction. They'll extend, externally rotate, abduct, internally rotate. I'm missing one?
Internal, external, adduct.
Basically everything but flex and extend. Yeah. So it's always active throughout the day. And how often do we find ourselves in adduction?
Right.
Right. So of all the movements it's responsible for the most commonly performed movements of the hip, of the knee. So.
And I feel like in all my years of training and coaching, this is like one of the first areas I go to because almost everybody like right away.
Foam rollers live and die on foam rolling ITB. You wouldn't be able to sell a foam roller if people didn't roll their ITBs. But what happens is you'll get this.
A lot of people doing it wrong.
They'll just
like they're rolling dough, right?
Exactly. So it's the intent in which you do things, not the extent in which you do things.
I love you saying that just because I feel like I always tell people to stretch with purpose, right?
Exactly. It's just like training, right? So when we're here, the common ITB is this oscillation from sort of just above that condyle, the distal femur, up to that trochanter and back. That's what you'll see. What I want to see, again, we'll just start just below that trochanter so you kind of feel it go kind of bony up in the hip. A little bit underneath. We're going to anchor with that front leg. Make sure this heel gets off the ground. Now we're going to flex the hamstring, bring the knee into extension, but in doing so the iliotibial band is a fascial thickening of the quad. There's no ramifications of the hamstring at all. But if we're flexing our hamstring, we're stretching our quad. One of our quads is a hip flexor or rec fem. So as I bring this heel back, bring my pelvis forward. Now we're really addressing the quad underneath, and now we fully flex quad. Hamstring, bring pelvis forward.
So Doug, come shoot this right here. This thing I want people to see when he comes in. So what he's saying right now is he flexes his hamstring. Watch what he does with his glute. He pushes the pelvis forward. So he's pressing the pelvis forward as he's flexing the hamstring. That's an important part of that movement. Right?
Yeah, I mean, you're really trying to get the most out of it that you can. So when you shorten that hamstring, bring that hip almost into an extended position, you're really going to address all motions of the quad.
And I bet you feel that right away.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and again, like rolling the low adductors, it kind of tells you where to stop. So when you kind of find a spot that's a little more tender than others, then we're going to pin there. Again, 3 rounds, full rounds of flexion and extension. So 1, bring the hip forward, 2, and then 3. Now, another point I want to make is just the end range extension of the knee. Okay. So as I really want to flex that terminal extension of the knee, isolate that VMO, because we talked in videos past about that force vector where the ITB attaches in on the patella. VMO attaches to the patella too. So the oblique fibers of the VMO pull it this way.
Yeah.
5 of 6 motions of the hip are pulling it this way.
Okay.
So we really want to focus on isolating this, and something we'll speak on later. But as far as balancing forces to make sure our patella is tracking properly, really focus on that terminal extension, that end range when you're under the pressure of the roller.
So as you're rolling back and forth, or what we're doing is we're kind of searching for that spot. And you're going to feel it, right? You're going to know right away. When you hit that spot, it's going to tell you like, okay, it's tight, feels like knots are in that area. Yeah. When you get there, you stay in that area. You're flexing and extending 3 to 5 times. Yeah. and making sure that you're rotating that pelvis forward. So squeezing the butt, press the pelvis forward as you move it through full range of motion.
Exactly.
Getting that good extension.
Yeah.
Awesome. Check this out, you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share the videos. Every day we drop a new video on this YouTube channel. Also, after this video, you guys will see up in the right-hand corner, you can click a direct link to get 30 days free coaching done by Mind Pump. Check it out.